They never saw the sky they were defending. 1942. Night over Leningrad. Somewhere in the distance, engines drone. An ordinary person hears nothing. The air defense instruments, nothing either. But one man hears it. He is blind, and that is precisely why his hearing is perfect. Leningrad's air defense had a unit that almost no one knows about. The listeners, blind soldiers with absolute pitch. Out of 30 candidates, only 12 passed the selection. Their weapons were not anti-aircraft guns or searchlights. Their weapons were sound detectors, massive metal horns aimed at the sky. Through them, the blind soldiers could hear the rumble of enemy aircraft from 20 to 25 miles away, long before any instrument of the time could detect a thing. But they did more than just hear the approach. An experienced listener could identify the model of the aircraft by the pitch of its engine. Heinkel or Junkers, a single plane or an entire squadron, 10 to 15 minutes. That is how much time the listeners gave the city. 10 minutes for anti-aircraft crews to take their positions, for searchlight operators to aim their beams, for mothers to grab their children and rush into bomb shelters. These men never saw the city they were saving. But they were officially enlisted in the Red Army, given military ranks and rations. Their contribution to Leningrad's defense against air raids has been recognized as unique. Nothing like it existed in any army in the world. The listeners are just one of the stories born inside the ring of the blockade. On September 8, 1941, Leningrad was cut off from the rest of the country. No food, no fuel, no hope of a quick liberation. Ahead, 872 days. The longest and most devastating siege in modern warfare. The city was freezing. The city was starving. The city was losing thousands of lives every single day. But the city did not surrender. Here are 4 more stories of how it survived. August 20th, 1941. Gatchina, a suburb of Leningrad. Senior Lieutenant Zinovy Kolobanov receives an order. Block 3 roads leading to the city. He has 5 KV, 1 heavy tanks in his company. 3 directions. Kolobanov chooses the position himself. A narrow road, swamp on both sides. A tank column cannot maneuver here. And he waits. The German column appears on the road. 22 tanks in a single line. First shot, the lead vehicle. It bursts into flames, blocking the way forward. Second shot, the last vehicle. The column is trapped. No way forward, no way back. Impassable swamp on either side. What follows is methodical destruction. Tank after tank. The Germans fire back. Shells pound the KV-1's armor, one after another. Dozens of direct hits. When the battle was over, Kolobanov's tank had 156 dents from direct hits. Not a single shell had penetrated the armor. 22 German tanks destroyed by one crew in one battle. Kolobanov's full company, 5 tanks, knocked out 43 enemy armored vehicles that day. The German advance on that sector was halted for several days. Kolobanov was nominated for the title Hero of the Soviet Union, but headquarters downgraded the award to the Order of the Red Banner. He never received the title of hero. Not then. Not ever. November 20th, 1941. On this day, the bread ration in Leningrad drops to a level beyond which there is only death. 125 grams. 125 grams of bread per day for children, dependents, and office workers. Laborers received 250, but calling it bread was generous. Rye flour made up only half. The rest, food-grade cellulose, seed husks, malt, bran, and dust shaken out of empty flour sacks. For hundreds of thousands of Leningraders, this peace dark, dense, nearly inedible, was the only food they would have all day. They did not eat it all at once. They divided it into tiny portions. Morning, afternoon, evening, to stretch it out, to cheat the hunger, if only for an hour. The bread ration card became the most important document of the blockade. More important than a passport, more important than money. Losing your card meant death. No duplicates were issued. Thieves snatched cards from people's hands on the streets. People hid them, sewed them into their clothes, slept holding them. 125 grams, 35 days. From November 20th to December 25th, 1941. Only when the Road of Life began operating, an ice route across Lake Ladoga, was the ration increased for the first time. Slightly, but enough for the city to keep breathing. May 31st, 1942. Leningrad had just survived the most terrible winter in its history. The city had lost hundreds of thousands of people. Those who survived could barely stand. And on this day, a football match begins at the Dynamo Stadium. Leningrad Dynamo versus a team from the metalworks factory. The players are emaciated. Some were brought to the stadium straight from the front lines. The match is shortened, 2 halves of 30 minutes instead of 45. During halftime, the players do not sit down on the benches. They are afraid they will not be able to get back up. The stands are nearly silent. The spectators are too weak to shout or clap. Wounded soldiers from a nearby hospital watch the game. Those who manage to drag themselves to the windows. But every one of these people, on the field and in the stands, understands why this is happening. The players take the field in clean, pressed uniforms. They try to run steadily. They try to look strong. Because it is not only the city that is watching this match. The broadcast goes out over the radio, in Russian and in German. The German command believed Leningrad was a dead city, a ghost city about to fall. And the dead city was playing football. For those who heard the broadcast on the other side of the front, it was a blow. Not from artillery, a psychological one. The spirit of the city was unbroken. August 9th, 1942. This was the exact date Hitler had chosen for a banquet celebrating the fall of Leningrad. The invitations had been printed. Tables at the Astoria Hotel reserved. That evening, music did indeed play in Leningrad, but not the kind the enemy expected. The Seventh Symphony by Dmitri Shostakovich. The composer had begun writing it here, in the besieged city. Between bombardments, he would climb to the roof of the conservatory to extinguish German incendiary bombs. Then he would come back down and continue writing. The score was flown out of Leningrad by plane, but the premiere had to take place right here, in the city it was dedicated to. Conductor Karl Eliasberg began assembling an orchestra. Musicians were searched for across the entire city. Some were pulled from the front lines. Others were brought on sleds from apartments they could no longer leave on their own. The percussionist Zhaudat Aidarov was found in the morgue. Someone noticed his fingers had moved. The orchestra rehearsed in hunger and cold. Eliasberg himself could barely stand, but the rehearsals never stopped. And then, August 9th, to make sure not a single shell fell on the city during the concert, Soviet artillery launched Operation Squall, a massive preemptive strike on German positions. 3,000 shells rained down on enemy batteries, forcing them into silence. And in that silence, the symphony began to play. The music was broadcast through loudspeakers across the entire city and beyond its limits, to the front lines. German soldiers in the trenches heard every note. Later, in captivity, many of them admitted, It was that evening when they first understood that this city could not be taken, that this war they could not win. The siege lasted 872 days. It took, by various estimates, between 600,000 and 1.5 million lives. But it did not take what mattered most. People who could not see the sky defended it. People who could not stand played football. People who were dying of starvation performed symphonies. This must never be forgotten, and it can never be repeated.